Sorry, I was not recording until this point. I forgot. I just remembered that I need to record. But yeah, life in Europe proved to be very exciting, but it wasn't what we had hoped it would be. And then I had a longing in me that said, I'm a man who grew up in a family that had both a mother and a father. My mother passed away in 2003. My father passed away on the 27th of January this year, at the age of 101. So that man had lived. I learned a lot through him. So through the teachings that I learned from him, one of the things I valued most was family. And I knew that at some point I needed to start a family of my own. When I left Europe, I did not leave Europe because of a failed performance career, but my career was at its best. With most of us as South African performers, when we go to Europe, you either go to study, or when you go to perform, you go as part of a company. In my case, I was lucky enough that I met people in Europe who could hire me as an individual. That worked greatly for me. Because of the type of music that I do, my Italian is very fluent. My French and German are semi-fluent as well. I speak all South African languages, and I am on a daily basis, as I think you've seen on the groups, I've been saying, no, I'm rushing home from work. I teach music at Africa's premier institution of performing arts, the National School of the Arts in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. I'm married for 6 years now. I'm a father of 3 beautiful girls. So I thought maybe I should just share that with you guys so you can know who is talking to you. But then the matter at hand, the psychology, how we get to think when we trade, and what should we think about, and how do we do things. Now, I met Kudzai, I don't think I know, it's in 2016. It was a few months after I got married. My finances were terrible and I joined Triple M. And we did very great things there. I remember I had more than 100,000 people under me at that point in time. We met, we developed not a friendship, but a deep brotherhood. And we've been talking about a lot of things. And then when he started the marathon thing, and though that free group, I joined, and I thought, no, let me also add myself and be a part of this. And my own trading journey spans back as 2016. I started it when we were doing Triple M. I've been profitable, but not as profitable as I wanted to be. The main reason was at that point in time, I had just gotten married. Finances were not good at all, because one thing, I'm not one that believes that one needs to take out a loan to achieve certain things in life. I don't believe in car finance. I don't believe in home loan. Therefore, I don't believe in a matter that when one needs to get married as well, they need to borrow money. For me, if you've got to borrow to have it, you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, then do not do it. There is no rush when it comes to life. Everything that we do, there is a certain step that one needs to take. We live in a life where we look at people around us achieving certain things, people of the same age or even people younger than you. As I'm a teacher, I've been teaching since 2011. The kids that I started teaching right now, a lot of them, they've achieved even greater things than I have. I do not mind, but if I put myself under the pressure that people who went through my hands have now achieved the things that I've been hoping to achieve for more than 10, 15, or almost 20 years' time, that is a step back. Now, one of the troubles that we get to encounter in the trading journey is you start today with a $50 account or €50 or even $5 account. In the group, there's people who have been trading before you, or there's people who have got funds that are more than yours are available for them to fund an account. You see them making $100 a day when your target is supposed to be $1 a day. And then instead of looking at people as motivation, you look at people as competition. You over leverage, you over trade. When there's a pullback, instead of the pullback being a pullback, which is eventually going to go in the direction that the trade is supposed to go for you, because of your emotions and lack thereof of trust in the system, you get to blow an account. You come to the group and you end up saying, you guys are making money and I am losing out. But the difference at that point in time is not that other people got a different signal, or other people started or entered at a different point than you. We all enter at the same time. We hear the very same signal that is being announced, but people then tend to overtrade. Now, we trade, I believe, most of us, because we've got certain things that we want to achieve. Some of us do not have access to a lot of funds, or any funds at all for that matter, outside of what we earn from our daily jobs. Now, we know that the normal 9 to 5 is like getting yourself into prison. We trade so that we can have a particular target that we work towards. Now, if we do not look at those things and work towards that, and you know that it's a step-by-step thing, it's one step at a time, we're going to want to achieve a lot of things at the same time, where there's a pullback, which is just a little step backwards, which allows you another opportunity to enter. If I'm not mistaken, about 3-4 weeks ago, there was a time where we were trading, and then the trade gave us very little profits, and we closed, almost all of us, because we didn't want to close in loss. We stayed on the call with Kudzai. Kudzai said, let's wait. The trade is going to go back to where it was, and then it will go to where we want. We stayed, we entered again. When we entered, all of us on that particular day, we smashed even greater profits than what we were intending to. Now, opportunities like that always present themselves, but the question is, how do you then get to control your emotions? Now, when we deal about behavior, there are 3 factors that we normally look at. The first one is motivation. The second one is perception. And then learning an attitude or belief in a system. Those go together as one. Motivation, it's about how do you then get to motivate yourself, because oftentimes we get to think that motivation is something that we need to get from other people, but at the end of the day, it is you that can be the best motivator of you. I'm currently sharing my screen. Kindly say if you see what's on my screen or not.
I can see.
Okay. This morning, I wrote a status. So this is my full name and surname on Facebook. And I said, as trees lose branches, they grow them back again. As those fallen branches are absorbed by the ground, they often grow up as new trees. Thus, the trees continue to exist over the years. Seeds aren't always where we expect them to be. Sometimes the seeds we need are in the wounds which we try so hard to cover. Instead, let's rather embrace the pains we've been through, for through them we can and must learn to accept that change is a constant life force that we cannot avoid. And in everything that I write, I end by saying God is love, because without him, we are nothing. Now, these are the principles that personally I live by. I've been taught that a fall is not a fall, but a fall is a learning curve. Motivation, you give that to yourself. You ask yourself, why am I awake today? For what good reason am I going to cry? And for what good reason am I going to laugh today? Am I going to be the reason for somebody's joy, or am I going to be the reason for somebody else's sadness? I think a lot of us, we would want to be the reason that people laugh, or the reason why people get to smile. Now, the motivation that you need to get in trading, you don't trade because you've seen others trading, and you don't trade because you want to have a lot of money. Money is money. It's tangible. It comes and it goes. You can have $1 billion today. It can be gone tomorrow. I think we all follow the financial markets. We saw what happened to Elon Musk a few weeks ago. He was the world's richest man at one point in time. 2 to 3 days later, he was not the world's richest man. So regardless of how much money you've got, at the end of the day, there is a very high chance that you are not going to achieve that which you ought to achieve, because you are not in the right frame of mind. In Zulu, they always say, imali yimpande yesono. In Sepedi, we say, chelete ke peu ya sebe, meaning where there's money, there's always a sin, or there's evil deeds or intentions. That's the experience that most people have. But why do you as an individual want to make the money? What goal do you have? Now, we've got a target of reaching $100,000 over 100 trading days. Are you going to take that entire $100,000 and spend it, or you are going to spend some of it and still reinvest so that you can make more? And what are the reasons for you to then get to make more? Are we still together? Am I still audible? I know I
Yes,
talk.
sir.
I talk too much. I'm very, very talkative. That much I know. Now, I'm resuming my share again. I'm just taking you through my profile a little bit. I write these statuses a lot. On the 13th of April, I said there's probably as many who look up to you as those who look down on you, but none of them knows your desire and destination better than you do. So pray for yourself more than you expect others to, for only through your tongue will what you truly wish for be uttered with utmost honesty and come into existence. Again, this to me is, we always look at life and look at people and say, oh, this person doesn't like me, this one likes me, but why do they not like you, or why do they like you? There's people who look up to you, and unfortunately, we don't know a lot of those people. We know the ones that don't look up to us, or the ones that look down on us. But are you then going to live your life based on what you think other people think of you, or you going to live your life and take whatever negative thing that you see, you take that thing and then turn it into positive? In trading, a lot of us, we've blown accounts. I think, if I can say, my wife should calculate how much I've lost through trading emotionally, so, and not smart emotions, but being greedy. I think I've wasted over 100,000 giving that money to brokers. There was a time I took about 10,000 rands and I put it in a trading account, lost that within a week, all of it. It's very painful. And I didn't do that because I didn't know how to trade. I knew how to trade. I know how to trade. The problem has always been one thing and one thing only: emotions. Trading is not like winning the lottery. It is a gradual step. It's like building a business. You do not build a business overnight. Even if you inherit it from parents, where they left it is where you'll get it, but there's always either going to be a downward spiral or an upward spiral, one of the two. The charts will never always go in one direction. There's going to be pullbacks, there's going to be consolidation zones, and all of those things. So we need to put ourselves on the right set of mind. The other point is perception. What is it that you think? What's your perception of trading and what it could be to you and what you want it to essentially be to you? Trading is trading, but right now you're not trading on your own. You are trading as part of a team. What perception do you have of this team? Is this team a team that you truly, truly believe that you will work with, and it's a team that has got your best interests at heart, instead of just wanting to make money out of you? What perception do you have of this team? When month ends and you've got to renew your subscription, what goes on in your head? Are you saying now they want $50, they want $100? Where is that going? There is no skill that comes without an investment. I've got 2 degrees, Bachelor of Arts in Music, which I got from UKZN, and I got it summa cum laude. I have another one, an honors degree, which I got cum laude. I'm currently working on my postgraduate certificate in education, which, the way things are going, I'm going to get it with distinction. My intention again is to do a Master of Business Administration next year, which is going to require 250,000 rands from my own pocket. That is something that I am personally working towards. Now, I'm not too familiar with the other guys who are in Kudzai's team. I know them through him, but I know him. We've worked together. We've led hundreds of thousands of people together. And I know that working with a person like him, the intentions are always pure. The intentions are always clear. Now, are you going to come and become a part of the team and want to benefit because the benefiting is what you are here for? We all want to benefit, but what you want to benefit, is it only for you or the other people in the group? Because I'm a person that believes that whatever it is or whoever it is that you get to meet, you need to leave valuable contribution in that person's life. I think once a week or every 2 weeks, I have a talk with Kudzai. My wife allows me about an hour. We just talk generally. Normally we talk 5 minutes about trading, but everything after that, it's general principles of life. We've got the same mindset. We see things similarly, where I think I am falling when I am weak and I'm worried and I'm looking at the charts and I'm using my own analysis. I often send him my own analysis of what I think is going to go on in the charts. Though those few times that I've done that, the view is the same, but the market is not us. We know how the market is supposed to behave, but whomever it is that controls the market has got their own perception and idea of what they want to actually happen and how they want things to happen. So the perceptions that each one of us will come into the team or into the group having are very important. A lot of us, we've paid money to people for them to teach us how to trade. And a lot of us, again, will say that they didn't teach us properly. It's true, but sometimes it's really not true. We are taught how to trade properly. The problem is we see where the mentor is, and we don't want to travel the process. We don't want to travel the journey, and we want to be where they are. And you ask yourself, how long did it take for them to know what they know? Who are you to think that what took somebody else 5 to 6 years or even 10 years to master, you are going to know it within a month? We're not saying it's impossible. It's possible, but don't raise the expectations too high. When a child is born, the first thing they do is to cry. communication, the way they communicate, they do everything through crying. They can't smile, they can't do anything. After a few days to a few weeks, they start making other sounds other than crying. They develop until a time where they get to form proper words, and then there is speech. We need to allow ourselves to be in a position to learn. We must be teachable, if there is that kind of a word in English. We must allow ourselves to be able to learn. Learn to say, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. The problem is we want to know at all times. If you come into the team and you've got your knowledge of trading from before, the team gives you a signal and say, today we're buying NASDAQ, and you decide that for me, I see a sell, I'm going to sell NASDAQ. Things happen. You sell, we buy. We make money, you don't, or you make money, we don't. If things go well for everybody else and things don't go well for you, what do? Who are you going to blame? Is the problem you, or is the problem the team? It's very easy to trade. You can fund 2 accounts with $50 each, trade events only, and not know nothing. Buy on one and sell on the other. When you make money on the other one, you lose on the other one. There's people who are using that strategy. It's working for them, but it's not a strategy that is consistent, because when we come into this, we need to be learning skills that we are going to pass on to generations that we leave behind. What is it then that we are learning? Are we allowing ourselves to be teachable, or whatever it is that we do, we'll always be complaining and say, no, why are we only trading once a day when there's events happening throughout? Why is this account only working for the marathon and we're not allowed to use it for NFP and all other accounts? But if we knew as much as we think we know, why did we then come and decide that we are becoming a part of a team? We need to be a part of a team, and when you are part of a team, I think I haven't had anyone complaining about Kudzai's gospel music in the meetings when we are about to trade, which gives me an idea that it's either we are all Christian or we are all comfortable with the idea of Christianity. In African custom, some people practice polygamy. A man can have multiple wives, but polyandry is not allowed, meaning a woman cannot have multiple husbands. It's a matter of preference, but we need to respect authority. When you become a member of a church, you know who the pastor is, and we follow the teachings that church values. Even in this group, it's the same thing. We should not want to appear to be more knowledgeable than others. We should not want to appear as if we know it all. If you know it all, talk to the admins privately and see how you can be a part of the admin team, how you can be a part of the team that spends so many hours looking at the charts, analyzing so that successful signals can be given to people. We need to think of those things. I can talk all night and all day, but yeah, the last one, the attitude, I think everything that I've said, it sums up into one thing, the attitude. What is it that you think of? Where is your state of mind? What do you want to achieve? When do you want to achieve it, and how? And in all these things that we do, if we are people who believe in Christianity, we know that there is our time and there is God's time. God's time is always, always perfect. And you always get to be aligned with the right people. About 2 weeks ago, when we had a talk with Kudzai, and I suggested that we have this meeting, I said to him, I'm not going to mention names. There's a guy whom I was a part of his group, and because I knew that for the life or the things that I want to achieve, it's only NASDAQ that is going to take me there in the time that I want to. So there's a guy I followed. That was before Kudzai started this team. I was a part of his group. The guy knows his stuff. I'm not going to lie. He knows his stuff. He'll tell you today that tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the morning, NASDAQ is going to fall. And indeed it falls. He'll tell you that tomorrow we are selling. Every time I look at his status as him saying that, and I look at the charts, at exactly the time he said it's going to do that, it does that. Joined this guy's group. But when now I am part of this group, no man, things go the other way around. Other people in the group, they make money. I'm not saying that the trades don't go where they're supposed to. Other people make money. I don't. And I'm not over emotional. I don't. But to me, when I noticed the trend and everyone else is making money, I thought to myself, you know what? This is not the person that I'm supposed to travel the journey with. He is doing what he's supposed to do. It's working for him and it's working for other people. But I need to find people whom I connect with on a much higher level than intellectually. Because sometimes we think that because we've got the same political view, business view, financial view, we talk the same language, but it is not. Relationships, when I don't know about other people when they get married, what do they think of or what do they feel? I've been married for 6 years now. I knew within 3 weeks after I met my wife that this is the woman I want to marry. We dated for a year. I made money. I had enough money to go and buy an SUV cash, but I had a question in me. Do I want to remain boyfriend to this woman or do I marry her? Because I knew that I wanted that woman to be my wife. At that point in time, I decided, no, I pay lobola and we get married. It's plans. And when such things happen, there is an element of God that is always there and always leading us ahead. We don't always know what we want to achieve for ourselves, but God always knows things that we need to know about ourselves even better than us. So we need to allow ourselves opportunities to do introspection. We might all be profitable right now, but we all know that very often, for those of us who often stay on in the meeting after Kudzai has said we closing the trades, we know that, hey, we look at the trades and we say, hey, we wish we were still holding or what. But those things, they need to teach us that it's better to move at a slow pace and gain gradual gains than to try and move too fast. And at that point in time, you then get to lose everything that you could have been, you could have achieved. So I think, like I had said when the session was starting, I said I would like for this to be a bit of an interactive session, and we do a question and answer kind of a thing, or have people adding their own contributions or views to the talk, because I'm not being a teacher, but we're just sharing. It's like a group session. I'll pause there for now. Thank you. If anyone wants to speak, you are free to unmute yourselves.
Okay, so my network went AWOL. Like I think last 3-4 minutes. I didn't grasp anything. I just came back now. I'm not sure what happened.
The session is recording. I'll save it and I'll try and minimize and then update on the group. But I think that the things we've been talking about, we can have an actual continuous conversation about these on a daily basis, because I think you've heard the greater part of the conversation, except for those minutes where you were disconnected.
Awesome. I think maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, this conversation would it will be like serve much greater purpose once a week or every 2 weeks, but will allow everyone else to communicate and see what they think. Well, personally, since no one is saying some, let me just like personally, I learned a lot from what you've just shared. Some of the things I already knew, and some of the things you emphasized, especially I still remember when I also started this journey. I always believe that I'm fast enough to grasp whatever that I get interested in, but then when the reality finally pounced upon me, I realized that it probably has to do with God. Like when His time is, then that's the right time for you. We might try to force things, but okay, Nyama is gonna leave. She has to attend.
Noted.
Okay, she has to excuse herself. Okay. Personally, I appreciate this time that you got to take and share with everyone else. Basically, if I had to take the time personally or one of my team to explain this, it would probably have seemed some otherwise. But we appreciate you, Mr. Edward, for sharing with you the pearls of wisdom, as Wimpone always calls them, the pearls of wisdom. I appreciate. I'll leave the platform for anyone else who has anything to add or to remove on what you've just said. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone who would like to speak, the platform is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Odian. Actually walked in pretty late into the meeting. Just got the invite about 10 minutes ago, and I'm not quite sure what the topic was, and I'll greatly appreciate it if someone would catch me up quickly or just type it down onto the notes so that I'm caught up with whatever discussion that has been going on in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it would be better for somebody else but me to try and sum up what we were